So I see you decided to start your surface pattern design journey with me. So welcome to the Whims of the Heart, where we keep surface pattern design simple and light. In today's lesson, we are starting at the very beginning, asking a big, beautiful question. What is color? And we'll talk about black and white too. Are they even colors? Let's dive in. Color is the light an object doesn't absorb. Instead, it reflects that light into our eyes. Light, like sunlight, contains all visible wavelengths of light: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Every color we see is due to how objects interact with that light. I would like to bring an example. We have a light source, the sun, an object, an apple, and a human eye. The sun will hit the apple with all the full spectrum wavelengths, and the apple will absorb all of them except the red one. That will give our eye a message. The message will be that the apple is red. Now let's see what happens with white. White isn't a color on the wheel. It's the lightest value used to tint and soften other colors. But how we perceive white works exactly the same as how we explained in our previous example. The sun will hit the cat with all the full spectrum wavelengths, and then the cat will absorb no light. By absorbing no light, that will give our eye a message that the cat is white. Let's see what happens with black. Black is the darkest value used to shade or deepen colors. Now, how we perceive it works exactly the same as our previous examples. We have a light source, in this case the sun. We have an object, in this case a black balloon, and then the human eye. The sun will hit the balloon with the full spectrum wavelengths, and in this case the balloon will absorb all of them, all the light. By the balloon absorbing all the light, we'll give an eye our message, and the message is that the balloon is black. So, are black and white actually colors? As I mentioned before, they're not. White isn't a color on the wheel. It's the lightest value used to tint and soften other colors. And black is the darkest value used to shade or deepen colors. They do not belong to the hue spectrum, but they are essential to how we see and feel color in design. They create contrast in this case. Contrast is about differences that grab attention. Black versus white is the strongest. In the checkerboard design, we can see a clear high contrast. It's a bold effect. And in the black circles on white, the isolated dark shapes pop against the white, showing contrast clearly. Space talks about how elements relate to each other. The thin grid has lots of breathing room, and you can see how your eyes can move freely. In the dense zigzag, the minimal negative space feels dense, yet still organized because the pattern is regular. Mood is all about the overall vibe or atmosphere of a design. The artisanal pattern on your left is warm, cozy. It conveys a human approachable feeling. The medallion pattern is calm and elegant and a bit nostalgic, resembling arts and crafts era. Emotion is about what feelings a design triggers in the viewer. In this kind of fractal and minimal design, it can feel a bit chaotic, and the scattered floral can make you feel joyful or light inside. Bridget Riley was born in 1931. She's still alive. She's one of those artists that I deeply admire. She studied black and white at its deepest core, and she's a British op art artist. Due to copyright restrictions, I'm unable to show her work here, but I have included her name and the titles of some pieces I deeply, deeply love, and you can find them in the description below. For our hands-on exercise, we'll need a white piece of paper with a rectangle subdivided in 7 or more spaces, a brush, a color palette with some black and white pigments, a jar with some water in it, a rag, and last but not least, a sketchbook. We will make sure that every space is painted with the right value. We're going to start from left and go to right. In this case, we'll use the darkest value to paint the first empty space on the left with black, and I'll see you once it's all painted with black. Now that we have painted our first space with black, the darkest value, we're going to work on the next one. But I want to remind you to try to keep your brush clean, especially when we're working with dark and light values. We don't want our pigments to get muted or contaminated. And this is something that I don't always do as I preach, but I try to remember. We're going to create the next value for our grayscale, and we're going to grab some black. We'll clean our brush. We'll dry it as well. We'll grab a little bit of white and mix it in with that black that we just took. We are aiming here to try to be as close to that black one, the first value in our grayscale, but making sure it's one step lighter comparing to the darkest value. Once we have it all mixed in, we'll make sure to paint the next empty space next to the black one, and I'll see you once we have it painted. Now we have our first two values ready. I made sure my brush is clean and dry, and we're going to create the third value by adding white to the mix of that gray we just made for the second value. We'll mix it in and paint it, so we'll get this beautiful third value in our grayscale. We'll make sure to follow the same steps. Just keep adding white to the gray that we have next to it, and in that way we'll hold space to create the next value on our scale, and I'll see you once we have them painted. we did it. We just created our seventh value grayscale. We could have make it as long as we wanted and reach to the point to be able to make sure the lightest value will be white, but that's on you if you want to extend it and make it as detailed as you want. Here I have decided to just cut it out. As I mentioned before, you can just make sure to make it as long as you want and bring it towards the white. That will be the lightest value on your grayscale. It's a great exercise to do if you want. I'll place it on my sketchbook now. And let me show you how it looks. I actually created a previous one before. I kind of like cheated because I didn't work on it as detailed, but you can see I did wanted to add the white as the last lighter value on my scale. On the next page, you'll get to see the one that we have just created, and you can bring it as long as you want and bring it towards that white. I'm encouraging you to try to do so. It's such a valuable exercise to keep in your sketchbook, to practice and explore with. You can also try to make it from the lightest value to the darkest one. So you can start with white and bring it towards the white and see how it just feels and looks different, and which one do you feel more drawn to. The first steps with taking color are precious. The sketchbook will be there as a place where you get to connect hand, brain, and heart. Then later, when you get to dive deep into more complex designs and digital tools, it'll be there to remind you your first discoveries and explorations. Now you've explored black and white and everything in between, and not only with theory, but with paint. This is your first milestone in color, and it's a powerful one. If you give this exercise a try, I'd like to see your work. Feel free to post it and tag me on Instagram at the Whims of the Heart. If you like to have a 9-value grayscale with its names and hex codes, it'll be easy to find in my Pinterest boards. The link will be added in the description below. And if you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. And whenever you're ready, feel free to go to the next lesson in the curriculum. It'll be waiting for you.